And we are back with the fifth and the final segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this final segment, we are going to be doing a prediction on which teams are going to end up winning tonight's games. And I've been doing this a lot in these fifth segments. We have a lot of games to cover. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games that are going to be going down tonight. And we're going to go ahead and pick a winner a team that I think is going to end up winning all of these games. So, first game on the list. The Lakers are going to match up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I really, really want to pick the Lakers to win in this game, but based on how the Cavs have been playing, they're 4-0 so far. They've beaten two bottom feeder teams in their schedules. The two bottom feeding teams being the Pistons and the Wizards, but then they ended up beating the Knicks in a rather close game. But my gut feeling, I really think that the Cavs, they have the best matchups to go up against the Lakers. I think Jarrett Allen is going to be a really solid matchup for Anthony Davis, and I think Evan Mobley is going to be a solid matchup against LeBron. Again, anything can happen in these games, but I pick Cleveland to come out on top in this game. I expect the game to be close, but they do have the good matchups. Not to mention, the Lakers don't really have much perimeter threats to stop Garland or Donovan Mitchell in this game. So I think that the Cavs are going to end up coming out on top in this matchup. I hope that this is a game that I'm wrong about, just because LeBron and the Lakers and all that stuff. This is LeBron's former team, so I expect he's going to get a warm welcome inside of Cleveland. But again, I think that this is going to be a game that Cleveland inevitably wins. Now, the Knicks, they're going to match up against the Heat. The Knicks, they've gotten off to a really slow start, and despite this, I'm still going to go ahead with my gut, and I'm going to pick the Knicks to win in this matchup. I think that overall they're just a better team than the Miami Heat, and I think that their players can end up outperforming the rest of Miami Heat's stars and role players as well. I know that Miami is going to be playing at home in this matchup, but still, I just think that the Knicks are going to end up prevailing in this game. Now, next game on this list, the Nets, they're going to end up playing the Memphis Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are going to easily beat the Nets in this matchup. The Nets, they're going to be a rebuilding team. They're trying to, I wouldn't say that they're trying to lose every game, but at the same time, they aren't really looking to win championships this year. And the Grizzlies, on the other hand, depending on Ja Morant's injury status and depending on all that, regardless whether Ja Morant's in the game or not, I still think that the Grizzlies have enough talent to beat the Nets in this matchup. So that's my pick. I think the Grizzlies are going to end up winning. Next, the Warriors are going to play the Pelicans again in this matchup today. And, I mean, I really, this one is tough. I really don't know. I really, really, really feel like the Pelicans should win in this matchup, but just based off of how they played in the last matchup, I don't know if I really want to pick the Pelicans to win in this game again. Like, I really don't. But I'm gonna go with the Pelicans once again. I'm just gonna be stubborn, and I'm not gonna learn from this. I don't think that the rest of the lineup is going to play as bad as they did against the Warriors in the previous matchup, and I think they're going to sort of learn from the mistakes that they made in yesterday's game, and they're going to go ahead and beat them here tonight. Again, it's very odd. They play back-to-back the same opponents. That's so weird, but yeah, I think that the Pelicans are going to be able to prevail in this matchup. I think so. Now, the Celtics, they're going to be playing the Pacers. And I'm probably going to go ahead and pick the Celtics in this matchup because, I mean, the Celtics, they're just by far the best team in the NBA right now. It's clear cut, and quite frankly, I feel like the While the Pacers, they will play at home, I don't really have that much trust in Halliburton. And again, the Boston Celtics, they're just too good of a team, and I really don't think that they're going to end up losing in this matchup. It's going to be on ESPN, so I'm most likely going to tune into the game a little bit, but I think the Celtics are going to end up prevailing in this matchup. Next, the Hawks, they go up against the Wizards. This time they're going to be playing in the Wizards arena. And I really, I would rather pick the Hawks in this matchup as opposed to the Wizards. I don't really trust the Wizards in this matchup. Even though they ended up beating the Hawks in that one game, I think that Trae Young is going to step up his game a lot in this matchup. And on top of that, the Hawks are 2-2 right now, so they have a good chance to win. They got this weird thing where it's like they go a few games above 500 and then they end up going right back to 500. They go a few games below 500 and then they go right back up to 500. So this time I think they're going to end up prevailing in this game and make their record 3-2. And the Wizards are going to continue being one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. Next, the 76ers match up against the Pistons. Now, it's expected that Joel Embiid is going to be playing in this matchup. Now, whether he does or he doesn't, I don't see any sort of change in the results. I think that the 76ers are easily going to come out and win this game, and regardless whether they have Embiid or not. But having Embiid is obviously going to make them win by a lot more. And I think you'd be crazy to pick the Pistons, but then again, anything can happen in basketball. I just don't have any faith in the Pistons this year. Next, the Raptors, they're going to be playing against Charlotte. I'm going to pick Charlotte in this matchup because Charlotte is expected to... They're going to be playing at home. I also really like what I've been seeing out of LaMelo Ball in these past few games. And while it wasn't really... it wasn't really that good of a game that he played a few days ago, he has been rather consistent. I mean, and it's not even like he played all that bad in his 27-point performance against the Heat. He was just a little bit inefficient in that game, and that's why I think he played less than good in that game. But aside from that, I still pick the Hornets to win in this matchup against the Raptors. I do expect a pretty solid game from Scotty Barnes as well, though. Next is the Magic against the Bulls. Orlando Magic. I'm sticking with the Magic. I mean, Paolo Banchero is a completely different animal. I know that the Bulls, they're going to be playing at home in this matchup, but again, I just don't think that the Bulls will be able to stop Paolo and the rest of the matchup that is the Orlando Magic. And next game, the Spurs are going to be playing against the Thunder. I think that the Thunder are going to end up coming out on top in this game. Last time that Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren matched up against each other, Victor ended up getting the better of him. But given how Chet has sort of developed into this year and how he's been playing so far, I think that the Thunder will have a better chance of winning in this matchup. And based off of how Chet's been playing and how SGA's been playing, they're two, at the very least, top 5 MVP candidate players right now. I think that they got this. I think that they got this win. And then finally, the Clippers, they're going to match up against the Portland Trailblazers, easily picking the Clippers in this matchup. The Trailblazers, they are, again, one of the bottom-feeding teams, so not really much that has to be said. So those are my picks. I picked the Cavs, the Knicks, the Grizzlies, Pelicans, the Celtics, the Hawks, the 76ers, Hornets, Magic, Thunder, and the Clippers. And I'm probably going to get 2 of those games wrong, but we'll go ahead and we'll see how it works. So that's all that I have on this segment. That's it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so remember to subscribe to the show, leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. And as usual, we love to hear what you guys have to say during the show, whether you guys have a hot take, burning question, something you've just been dying to share. If you really want your comment and or question to get noticed, then I recommend using Super Chat. You just click on the $sign below the chat box, and you can send in your comments and or donations that way. Super Chat's not really your thing, then that's fine. You can always use the link displayed below the ticker, gsmcpodcast.net, and you can send in your comments and or donations that way, and they really help the show. That's all that I have for you today on this segment and this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Nelson, and as always, take care.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go